Hi and welcome to Giant Quest. Today we're bringing you our Charizard EX build for the Obsidian Flames format. It's kind of a spicy build with some nice interesting tech choices in here, so let's get to it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, so we start off with the main Charmander line. We play 3 of the Obsidian Flames Charmander and 1 of the Pokemon Go Charmander. Not much in them, to be honest. They both got 1 retreat cost. This one can hit for 30, which is nice against Guardy when they overload with energies and leave things with, say, 20 health. And this one here has an attack for 10, and you can attach an energy from deck to it. The main aim obviously isn't your Charmander. We play 1 Charmeleon just to bridge the gap if needed. It can hit for 70 for 2 energies, and it does recoil 20 damage to itself, but a decent attack and just helps get to your Charizard if you have no easy access to the rare candies. So Charizard, obviously the main card of the deck. He's a really bulky boy with 330 HP. It's a dark Terra type, which is actually crazy for the deck because it helps attack into the likes of Mew VMAX and Gardevoir EX and one-shot them regardless of how many prizes your opponent's taken. So with Burning Darkness it hits for 180 for 2 fire energy and then 30 more damage for each prize that your opponent has taken, which hits for a maximum of 330 HP if your opponent has taken the 5 prizes. It's also got a crazy ability with Infernal Rain. So when you evolve into the Charizard EX, then you can attach 3 fire energies from your deck to your Pokemon in any way you like. So you can straight away power up its attack and it's ready to go. Or if you don't need the energies on this, you can put them onto your bench so you've got backup attackers. It seems really well placed in the meta at the moment with the prevalence of Psychic Pokemon. We may see more grass decks in play, but then we are playing some cards to counter that ourselves as well. Finishing off the fire Pokemon, we play 1 of the Radiant Charizard, 1 of the Entei V, and 1 of the Delphox V. So the Radiant Charizard, I'm sure you know what it does, but for 1 energy late on in the game, its attack is reduced by a colourless energy for every prize that your opponent's taken. So it's got a similar sort of effect as the big boy himself, so they're great comeback cards. So hit for 250 and it can't attack next turn. The Entei V can attack for 2 energy and it hits for 20, plus another 20 for each bench Pokemon, yours and your opponent's, meaning it can hit for a maximum of 220. And then paired with the Vitality Band as well, so if there's a full bench then you can pretty much take a KO on near enough any basic EX or V. Also has Fleet-footed, so it can also draw a card when in the active once per turn. And then my favourite card that we're playing is the Delphox V. It's got Eerie Glow, so for 1 fire energy, it burns and confuses your opponent's active Pokemon. So when you change turns over, it's going to burn for 20 anyway. So if you're playing against Guardy, for example, then that burn could potentially just KO whatever they've put loads of energy onto. And we've also got Magical Fire, which is absolutely broken. It's for 2 fire energy and 1 colourless. It hits for 120 to the active and 120 to the bench Pokemon. So if they don't know you played in this, then you can potentially get a turn 2 win if they've only put out the 2 things, or just completely cripple them. If you're playing the mirror match, if you're playing against Gardevoir, Lost Box, they often put out multiple Pokemon that have 120 or less. Again, if they've got Greninja in the active, Vitality Band can take a KO on that as well. This can absolutely pop off turn 2 with the Charizard powering it up. And then later on also we're playing the Forest Seal Stone, so being able to attach these to the Vs just gives you some added consistency. For the utility in the deck, we're playing the Pidgeot line, so we're playing 2 of the Pidgey and then 2 of the Pidgeot EX. It seems like a no-brainer because we're playing rare candies anyway. Pidgeot EX is absolutely broken with its quick search ability, being able to search your deck for any 1 card. You don't have to show your opponent what it is either. Unlike Arceus V-Star, this isn't just a one-time ability. You can use this each and every turn, but it is limited to 1 quick search per turn, so there's no point getting more than 1 of them out. It also has Blustery Wind, which for 2 colourless energy hits for 120 and can remove a stadium. And seeing as the likes of Path to the Peak can be a problem for this deck, that's quite nice to have. But then the other really strong part about it is it has no retreat cost, so this is really nice to pivot into. If they're taking knockouts on your Pokemon, then you can put this into the active spot and then retreat it. And supporting those, we are also playing 1 copy of the Mew from Celebrations with its mysterious tail, being able to look at the top 6 and add an item. really, really strong. And Manaphy, obviously there for the bench protection. You're playing quite a lot of basics that want to evolve into stage 2, so they're low HP, so this is a mandatory card to play. Next on to the items, we're playing 2 copies of Nest Ball, 4 copies of Ultra Ball because you want to be able to grab any card, whether it's an evolution or not, and we're playing 1 copy of Lever Ball. As well as being able to grab the basics, you can also grab Charmeleon with this, which can be nice for bridging your evolutions. And then to add some more consistency, on your first turn we play 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass, being able to bench 2 basic Pokemon. And I think this is mandatory to have your consistent stage 2s, 4 copies of Rare Candy. If you can get to Pidgeot, then you can always search for another one or for another missing piece that you need as well. But you just want to be able to get the Pidgeot and or the Charizard going straight away, otherwise the deck isn't going to function. We also play 1 copy of Escape Rope, just for some disruption to your opponent's board and be able to switch out your Pokemon if needed. And we play 1 copy of Super Rod, so you can just recycle your Pokemon and more importantly probably your energy. We play 4 stadiums in 2 copies of Artisan, 1 copy of Magma Basin and 1 copy of Collapse Stadium. Artisan's really good being able to help set up early on and just be able to grab those Charmanders and those Pidgeys so that you can get into the game. The only thing that does annoy me about it sometimes is when it can help your opponent, but it is what it is. Magma Basin, I like this, it's quite spicy, just being able to attach the fire energies to your bench. And 1 copy of Collapse Stadium, so you can use this as a way to stop your opponent taking prizes by retreating something, cop the Collapse down and then discard it and all damage that it's got so they can't take the KO. You can also just use it to remove things that you don't need or are easy targets. You can also use it to restrict your opponent's bench size down to 4, because a lot of decks do need a lot of space for their setup. The other thing with the stadiums as well is having the 4 copies just helps give you more options to bump Path to the Peak. And then we play the previously mentioned 3 tool cards. We've got the Forest Seal Stone to attach to our Vs. We're not playing any V-Stars. You can play Arceus if you want, but I like the spicy Forest Seal Stone Delphox build. Seems really nice, just being able to grab any card in your deck and get yourself going early on. It also does help protect against the likes of Path to the Peak and Iono because it plays around both of them. And the Vitality Band just being able to help hit for perfect knockouts. You can also try Defiance Band, but I prefer this one just with the consistency it offers, meaning that you don't have to always be on the back foot. So the Charizard that would hit for 270 if they've taken 3 prizes would now hit for 280 for example, which is enough to KO any V-Star. So it just helps with the maths a little bit, and always extra damage is good. Moving on to the supporters, we play 4 copies of Iono. So this is really good because we play the Pidgeot, so you can even use this late game and still be able to get yourself extra cards and disrupt your opponent. Even early game, because you want to hit certain combo pieces in your deck, this can be really good, just be able to give yourself a new hand and potentially shuffle your opponent's hand away. We also play 2 copies of Professor's Research, just being able to give yourself a new hand, discard some bits. Because we're playing Magma Basin as well, I quite like it, being able to get the extra energies. 2 copies of Boss's Orders and 1 copy of Serena, just being able to gust anything out, and Serena kind of being like a hybrid between the 2. Being able to discard certain pieces and draw cards, or be able to gust a V out and take the KO, because Vs are still seeing so much play. We finished that off with 9 copies of the basic Fire Energy and just 1 copy of Jet Energy. I do like this, just being able to switch in, because some of the Pokemon do have high retreat costs, such as Entei and Radiant Charizard, so it just gives you kind of an extra switch ability, and there are things in this deck which use colourless energies in the attacks. So that is our Charizard EX deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. If you pop down in the comments what you think, any cards that you would change. It's quite early days for the deck, so there's still plenty of room for innovation. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. If you're looking at picking up any Obsidian Flames, then check out our link or QR code for Magic Madhouse so you can pick up some of the cards that you've seen in this profile. And until next time, thank you very much.